Two Triad detention officers were injured in a jail attack. The Forsyth County Sheriff says an inmate beat them. Good evening, I'm Chad Silber.
And I'm Julie Luck. The inmate's mother says the officers used excessive force. Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough stands by his officers' actions. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake spoke to both sides about this case that started a firestorm on Facebook.
The sheriff says Matthew West attacked two detention officers last Friday. This is his mugshot from January when he was arrested on a murder charge. He's been in jail without bond ever since. The sheriff says last week's attack was so severe, the two officers had to go to the hospital. I want to warn you, the pictures you're about to see from the attack might be hard to look at. A 61-year-old female has a fractured orbital bone and needed stitches for a cut near her eye. Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough recalls walking up and seeing her lying on the stretcher after the attack.
I looked at her face and I said, oh my God, who did this? Who would assault a 61-year-old woman? Who would break her eye socket? Who would strike her like that?
The other officer had a concussion, a brain bleed, and a dislocated shoulder. Yesterday, the mother of the suspect posted on Facebook about the incident, claiming her son was the victim in the attack. She also posted a picture of a detention officer saying it was him who attacked her son. Now this morning, Sheriff Kimbrough responded with his own Facebook post saying that officer wasn't even involved in the incident.
And so typically I don't get into these Facebook back and forth. I try to stay out of that. But at the same time, I have an obligation to protect the men and women that serve.
Sheriff Kimbrough says the officer in the post called him asking for help.
When one of mine called me and I could hear it in their voice having to send their family out of their home because his face is now all over there and people are making these sideways comments. And so I had to address it.
Sheriff Kimbrough told me he sat down with Wes's mother today to watch the footage from the attack.
He was not a victim. What I can tell you was he was the assailant. What I can tell you was he assaulted two good officers and he has changed their lives. You know, one of them now has to see a neurologist because he was, the bleeding on the brain.
I spoke to Wes's mother on the phone tonight. She told me even after seeing the footage earlier today, she isn't convinced her son did anything wrong. She said the family has been in contact with an attorney and the sheriff's office said it'll move forward with charges against West.